Hey, remember the quote? Remember the quote said there is nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of two people who are unequal. Was that said on this podcast before?
No.
Okay,
No.
I guess
No.
Coach Si said it then.
I do not think so.
Okay, I got something. I got a historical fact.
All right.
What year is this? 85, 80. Okay. I got Ace's got to get this off his chest too.
All right.
It actually pertains to college basketball though.
All right, you ready? This is his email.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, might as well. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
Get the show on the road, folks.
It's time to get the show on the road. So welcome in to the Mind of a Coach podcast. These are your hosts, Coach Nathan Moran and Coach Asa Duvall. Episode Lebron.
There we go. LeBron. I'm glad. There we go.
You thought I was going to say 23 or
well,
Jordan. That's the common misconception that 23 is actually for LeBron. So,
right.
Yeah. Wow. But anyway, Asa, how are you doing today?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I'm alive and kicking, man. You know the deal. Can't complain. Let's see. What is it? It's Tuesday as we're recording this. We got a game on Thursday, game on Saturday. Had another rough weekend this past weekend. But man, other than that, it's all good. Coming down the home stretch and just trying to finish strong. What about you? How you doing?
I'm good. You know, what the viewers or listeners might not know is we fixed my microphone situation. So hopefully it'll be sounding a little bit better this week. Unfortunately, I told Asa to stop recording for a second. And right as we did that, we had a little blooper where I learned that I was not speaking through my microphone. So, you know, that's a problem, but
that's par for the course with us. That's just absolutely par for the course.
That's what you should expect. That's what you should expect. But man, I'm good. Life's good. Basketball is good. As long as we're getting to continue to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy. My family's good. So everything's good. But Asa, got any historical facts for us this week?
Yeah. So hang on, let me turn my volume up real quick. All right. So I started reading this. I actually started reading a book this weekend, believe it or not. Got real wild and picked up a book. It's Cy Alexander who's helping us out this year. He was a head coach of Tennessee State back in like 2003 to 2009 or something like that. Anyway, he wrote a book, and a pretty cool book. I read like 90 pages of it, and he tells some stories in it. So my historical fact is coming with the stories. I didn't know this. Maybe I'm not up on my knowledge, but okay. In the 1985-86 season, Providence was coached. I'm not going to make you guess this. Providence was coached by. Do you know who it was coached by during that time? 85-86 at Providence.
No, I won't get it.
Okay. It was Rick Pitino, and he had two assistants. Yeah. He had two assistants on his staff, Jeff Van Gundy and Stu Jackson at the time. Do you know who the starting point guard was?
Billy Donovan.
There we go. Good job, Nate. That was good.
Come on.
I didn't put two and two together until I really read that. I guess I knew Pitino was at Providence. I didn't know a ton about Billy Donovan's college career, but that was a crazy story that he put in there. But so I'm glad you got that, man. That was nice.
Well, right as you started it off with Rick Pitino, I was like, okay, Billy Donovan played for him, so
yeah,
there we go. Yeah.
Hey, we're what are we 3 for 3 over the last 3 weeks, I believe.
Dude, we've been getting them.
Wow.
Maybe we need to start giving some. I don't know if it's historical fact or if it's trivia for us, like one question trivia. But
true. Maybe we're
on fire right now. Hey, so if you guys need anybody to join your trivia teams, Ace strictly for sports, as in basketball. Anything else, we're probably not going to be a very good use. Asa more than I would be a better use. Asa would be better at it for sure. But Asa, man, you got the TSU Tiger on one shoulder, a Nike sign on the other shoulder, but something's just missing on the middle of your chest. But you got to get off of it.
All right. So there's too much stopping going on, I think, in the college game right now. So tell me if you agree with this. Get rid of the 16, 12, 8, and 4 media timeouts and just go NCAA to 15, 10, and 5. 3 media timeouts for each half. 15, 10, and 5. This 16, 12, 8, and 4 nonsense, it's too much. There's too much stopping going on. I don't like it at all. And maybe I'm, upset because one of my responsibilities is I got to set up some of the chairs during timeouts. So, God forbid there's like three full timeouts aside of the media timeouts. Now, it's 7 times a game. I'm going up there and doing that. But come on, 15, 10, and 5. That's what we need right there. We don't need anything else. 15.
Let me go ahead and interrupt you. Not only is it 16, 12, 8, and 4, but there's also like the media, like the first time out of the half. If it's before 16, it goes straight to media. And then you got under 16. So you end up having 7, not even including timeouts.
I know. I just think it's a lot of stopping. It's a lot of stopping, unnecessary stopping. Just 15, 10, and 5. What do you think?
I could not agree more. It's like what you're talking about basically is how the girls are doing it. They're doing 2 quarters, but they're only stopping it.
4 quarters, yeah. Well, I was going to say that would be my say is like, either I kind of like halves. I don't know if I wanted to go back to quarters, but I mean, quarters would be okay too, I guess.
It would just be a longer media for after like 1 quarter. So you got the stop at 5.
Yeah.
And then you got the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
And then you got to stop at 5. That's 3 stops. Like you're talking about 15, 10, 5. So
yeah. So
I do like, we grew up watching 2 halves. So I think that also plays a part. Like we don't want to see it go away, but
yeah, certainly.
I agree with you. There's too much stopping.
I know. And they tried to, speed it up with the whole taking 5 seconds off the shot clock of, a few years back, but 15, 10, and 5, dude. 16, 12, 8, and 4 is too much.
They're just trying to substitute playing time. They're trying to get more shots, more action, and more money on the TV deals.
Yeah, so. Yeah. That I'm sure
we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. But Asa, my 3 keys this week, I'm going to save them for our guest. I'm really excited to introduce our guest, so stay tuned. Oh, what's going on, Coach? Oh, hey, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Am I the only one that ever does that? Do y'all ever do that too?
We actually had some microphone malfunctions earlier that we explained on the podcast. So, it's fitting. It's fitting.
I need to catch up then. I haven't once y'all had Sam on the show before me, I quit listening. I was like,
That's awesome. How are you doing, Coach?
What were we thinking?
I'm good. I just got back from our girls played at MTCS tonight in the first round of the district tournament. So
how'd they do?
We got beat. We did what we could. Coach Cooey did you know Michael Cooey was coaching our girls team?
I did. He accepted the job this year, correct?
Yeah. Yep, he did a good job. They were playing. MTCS is good. They got some of those flight girls, and maybe we lost by 15. Probably should have lost by 40. So it was what it was.
How are they doing the district? Does everybody make the district tournament this year?
Yeah. So the girls' side has 8 teams. Zion Christian didn't play like a varsity girls schedule. So okay. Playing it all the way through at higher seeds this year because of COVID. So. Our girls finished, I think, 7th. MTCS was the 2. And so, guys, first round starts tomorrow. We're at Bell Buckle tomorrow. So,
how did we do against them in the regular season?
They beat us twice. We at home, we were down 23 at half at home and outscored them 24-2 in the third quarter. But we ended up about 5 or 6. Wow. They got the Evan Ursher kid. He's pretty good. I don't know if y'all have seen him play.
I was going to ask if they're still pretty good after losing Keon.
They are. They picked up a couple kids while Keon was there. The Jordan Jenkins kid, pretty strong, really athletic, is there. And then the Evan Ursher kid is new this year. He played with EAB. He's their best player. But they'll have 4 athletes, and then they got a white shooter that stands out there that can hit threes. So he's pretty good for what they do. So we'll have our hands full, but we got a shot. We'll see.
Good stuff. Good
luck with that.
Well, guys, welcome in Coach Len McKnatt. Coach Len McKnatt was the head varsity women's coach at BGA and then took the middle school head coaching job at BGA before taking the varsity head coaching job at BGA, where he was there for 4 years. Coached myself, helped us reach a state championship and win a state championship in 2013, 2014. Afterwards, he took the athletic director position and the head men's basketball coach at Grace Christian Academy, where he has been since. He has his wife, Haley, and son, Mason, and daughter, McLean. Coach, glad to have you on.
Man, it's awesome to join you guys. Yeah, I've been been keeping up a little bit. Again, the last episode was has been a while, so I've got some catching up to do once the basketball season's over. I'll have to. Most people binge watch Netflix. I'll have to binge watch y'all's podcast.
Oh, hey, advocates for that. So absolutely, definitely do that.
Hey,
But
y'all tell me before y'all ask me questions. So, Asa, how's TSU? How's that going for y'all? How's your season going? I haven't been able to see y'all play.
It's okay. Well, we're not winning a lot of games. We're not winning a lot of games. We've lost 7 or 8 games by 4 or less points. It's up and down. We're close, but it's been tough. It's been tough sometimes. We've gotten down big a couple times. We were down by 25 against Austin Peay, and then we were down by 23 again this past weekend against EIU, and cut it to 7 in the second half, but just couldn't get over that hump. We did the same thing against Austin Peay. So it's been a learning experience for sure. I know one thing: I'll definitely be a better coach because of this year, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's been tough at times, but it's fun regardless. Just the fact that we're able to play. But yeah, I mean that's about it. So awesome. Maybe you can check out a game, maybe not, but
I need to. I'm a basketball junkie, so I love watching it all. So, What about you guys, Nate? I hadn't looked y'all up here in a few weeks. Are y'all still doing well? I knew y'all were doing well.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. We just dropped 1 of 2 this past weekend to Shorter. Shorter's doing well right now. They just won again tonight against Auburn Montgomery. So Shorter's playing good basketball, and they got us at their place. But we're 9-2 right now. We're sitting in first place in our division of the conference.
That's good.
But honestly, it doesn't really matter until you get to the conference tournament. I mean, obviously you want to set yourself up, but especially in a weird year like it is this year, you want to be able to give yourself the highest seeding possible in the region, because I think there's going to be only 6 teams in each region compared to 8 like normal.
Got you.
So if we just keep taking care of business, then I think we'll set ourselves up in a pretty good position. But
awesome.
yeah, I'm really excited about our guys. They're playing really well together.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. But all right. So my first question is this. So for the people out there that don't know Coach McKnatt, I'm going to speak the obvious for the people that do know Coach McKnatt, and that is Coach McKnatt is a very passionate and some would say fiery coach. You might not know so when you have a personal interaction with Coach McKnatt, but very passionate, very fiery. You coached women's basketball, Coach, and some people that might have seen your coaching might look at you and be like, "Wow, how was he able to coach women's basketball?" So that is going to be my question to you. How did you coach women's basketball, and how was that similar and different to coaching men's?
Nate, that's a great question. So I'll never forget. So I was helping Coach Gary Smith, and so Gretchen Eisenhower, who did a great job with BGA's women, left, and they said, "Hey, you want the varsity girls job?" And so I called my college coach. I was like, "Hey, I feel like I know I have a lot to learn, but I feel like I'm ready to be a head coach, but it's a girl's job, and I want to coach boys basketball." And so, but anyway, long story short, I took the job, kind of like what Asa just said. It made me a much better coach, because girls, and I'm speaking in generalities. Obviously, there are a lot of girls that are basketball junkies that know their stuff. But the girls that I coached, most of them played basketball from November till February, and that was about it. And so they did exactly what you told them to do. I mean, they would try to do exactly what you told them to do. And so as a young coach, it made me a much, much better coach. To be honest, thinking about how much energy I had back then, I have no idea how I did not get fired when I was coaching girls. So I'm sorry, my charger came out. So yeah, I mean, I had some tough girls there the first couple of years, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, man, I can't lie. Those last 5 or 6 years, I was hanging on by a thread. I jumped at the middle school basketball job after about 8 years. So, Asa, I was desperate to want to go coach Nathan as a 7th grader.
Right.
My time had passed me by. So no, it was an awesome experience. They took a huge chance on me. I feel like I owe probably about 9 out of 10 of those girls each year an apology for just being crazy, and they probably wonder what they got themselves into. So, but it was fun. It was fun.
What did you learn coaching girls that you would not have maybe otherwise learned that got you, that kind of got you prepared or ready for, coaching men? What did you take from that? I'm
Yeah.
assuming, I don't know, did it teach you some patience? I'm sure it did at some point.
Well, it needed to. I don't know if it did or not, but it definitely tested my patience. I tell you, one thing it taught me was by the time you tell someone, hey, they're open, and by the time they hear you and then throw it, they're not open anymore. It's too late. So I tell you what it made me do. I had to scout really well. I had to dream up new ways for us to score points. We didn't have a lot of people that could shoot the ball. So, I mean, it made me really have to search and learn. And, hey, what can we do to score when we only have 2 girls that can dribble and 3 that can catch? And so it forced me to kind of think outside the box some, I think, other than and then defensively too. Hey, what can we do? We're playing in Lawrence County. Those girls have been playing basketball for their whole life. What can we do to give ourselves a chance to win? And so that part was good. But it did make me, I think my preparation had to be a lot better maybe than just, hey, we got a bunch of guys that can shoot it. Hey, whatever we run, it's going to work. We can put the ball in the basket. So it made me grow in that area, I think, was one of the biggest things.
So where did you find the motion that we used at BGA from 7th grade till senior year? Or not really senior year, but junior year, I guess. Where did you find that, and what was the reasoning you were decided to go with that motion?
Man, Nate, I don't even remember the guy's name. Somehow I ran across it just looking at tons of stuff. And when I saw it, I was like, that's unique. Lots of people run 1-4 high set, but just the motion of it, I felt was very, very unique. I thought it flowed really well. I thought it was simple, but it also gave, just thinking of the options, just thinking about you at point guard, just the options that it gave you to play some basketball, but then, different reads, whether it's a high post entry or a handoff or a dribble entry, or I cannot remember where I found it, but when I saw it, I liked it. And I was like, hey, this is something I think we can work with.
And that's definitely something I feel like you were always doing, is looking at more things, trying to learn and trying to expand your knowledge for the game of basketball. And my best thing, or my favorite thing that I remember, is DeMatha, when you brought in DeMatha, and Asa, he talked about DeMatha, and it was just like, it was his new like buzzword. It was his favorite word. It was DeMatha this, DeMatha that. So we were skipping down the court,
doing the warm-ups. That's right.
And going back.
Was it DeMatha? Wait, was that a play, the offense, or the skill?
No.
It was just.
It's a school. DeMatha.
I know. Oh yeah, I know that. But I didn't know if that was a play. My fault.
That was the old Alan Stein. Alan Stein did all their warm-up stuff, so I'm sure that's where I'm sure I had seen that, and yeah.
But the funny thing about it is I went back a couple years after I finished playing, and no, actually it was my senior year. We were playing BA, and I got a fast break, and I remember like putting it over my head to keep it away from a defense and like coming back and finishing. And I was like, holy heck. Wow. Like it's the habits that you're building that you don't even know you're building. And so I don't know if you were trying to do that, or, I mean, I assume you probably were trying to build some habits of just like strong, keeping away from your body, being coordinated with the ball, etc. But was there more detail that went into that than a common high school basketball player might not have seen?
I think that was a fluke that you did that, Nathan. Hey, I'm sure I saw Alan Stein, and he was kind of becoming a hot thing, and looked at his videos. And I was like, hey, that's a pretty cool warm up. They're moving, and it's 3 or 4 minutes long, and get you moving a little bit. So I'm sure it was nothing more than that. You were probably thinking a lot harder than I was. So that was just getting us moving for 3 or 4 minutes to get us loose to get ready to practice.
Speaking of pre-games and warm-up, the hypest pre-game of my high school career, I remember, I talk about this, me and Weldon Garlington, we talk about it all the time, was at BGA one year, and literally the hypest pre-game ever. It was so, oh my gosh, me and Weldon weren't starting, and y'all played California Love, like right at tip-off, and me and Weldon just look at each other like, dang, man, like I wish we were out there. I will never forget that. It was the best pre-game warm-up ever.
Well, and of course, I know, Asa, y'all had some awesome student sections at Brentwood, but my son remembers all the time. And Nathan was, it's not always like that. Nathan was lucky. I mean, we had, the student section was awesome. And man, it's hard to beat high school basketball when you have 2 student sections that are into it. And Asa, I know you played in a lot of those rivalry games, the Brentwoods and Franklins. Man, those things are hard to beat.
Yeah, they were. They
You
were.
get rivalries like that, and the students into it. And man, this COVID, it's been, high school for the most of this year.
How have you been? Yeah, I mean, how have you been handling that? I mean,
yeah. So we were able to have a student section real early in the season, but it was modified. You know what I mean? We had to almost do like a lottery. We'd let seniors first, and we'd only have about 25 students. And then they opened it back up just a week or so ago. And so we were able to have, luckily, a student section for our senior night, which was
awesome.
last Thursday night.
Cool.
So that was good. But yeah, it's been pretty much, a couple places have varied, but pretty much for us, it's been, 2 or 3 people per player.
Right.
We're probably a little more open and liberal here in Leapers Fork than people are in Nashville and those sorts of things. So
certainly,
in our little bitty gym, we've probably had more people than some of those other schools with lots of space. So don't tell the mayor that.
Yeah.
I'm sure John Cooper's the mayor's one of y'all's listeners, isn't he?
I don't. That's news to
love
me.
for that to be the case, but I don't think so.
Well, yeah.
Not yet, Coach. Not yet. But hey, so you did get to coach one of the best shooters in Tennessee State history, and your son Mason McKnatt. So I have to ask you, what was it like getting to coach your son, and how challenging was that at times?
Good question. That's a great.
I don't think I enjoyed it until I realized that it was almost over. You know what I mean? Just because, and Nathan and Asa, you guys understand this. You guys are basketball players, and you expected more out of yourself than the coach did, or as much. And so Mason was the same way. And so Nathan, I can be tough on people. So Nathan, I know how hard I was on you, and then for my son, probably multiply that a little bit.
Definitely.
I know it was tough on him. It was tough on me. As a coach, it's tough because, and I didn't realize it until this year, I'm finally able to relax a little bit this year now that he has graduated, because just like your parents, your mom and dad, they want you to do great. So, I'm coaching a game. I want our team to do well, but then you've also got your son out there that you want him to do well, and the time that's been put into the gym. And so, man, I wouldn't have traded it for anything, but it was definitely challenging. We did a lot of these, we had a lot of that, just because he's competitive, just like you guys, and I'm competitive. And then it was probably toughest on my wife. You know what I mean? There's mom in the stands and husband and son, and she sees us doing this. And so it was awesome. Just, he's I'm in the room up on stage at Grace Chapel. Nathan, he went to the girls' game with me. He's in there shooting on the gun right now. Hopefully his music is not going to be too loud. So I can't tell you just how much I miss just, the early mornings rebounding for him, the late at night. Those are just some special times. And so it was so much fun, but it was very stressful. Very, very stressful.
I'm sure. Asa, if you don't know this, so Coach McKnatt used to come and let me in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning on weekdays. And Mason, when he was younger, he would just he'd come in every now and then, and he would just watch and then kind of shoot extra. Well, all of a sudden he's out there doing cone drills, and I'm like, what the heck? This kid's in 7th grade. He's going to be a ball player. And sure enough, he goes and scores however many points, 2,000 plus points or whatever.
Is he at Trevecca now?
He is. He's redshirting at Trevecca. He has he acquired his hips from Nathan, I guess. He has torn both labrums, so
oh my gosh,
had surgery on his left one in October. So he's doing well. He's been cleared to jog. He can jump a little bit when he's shooting. So he's 3 months in. So Nathan will appreciate that. The hardest part right now is he's feeling really good. Is not letting him do too much. You know what I mean? Because he wants to. He does not. He wants to go, and so he's been able to get stronger again. He's about 2 years in a row. He's had a lot of time in the weight room for his upper body. So, I think God had it planned. It's probably what he needed. He probably needed to rest and keep getting bigger and stronger. So he is at Trevecca. He loves Coach Mance, loves his teammates, and he's kind of frustrated with how they're playing. They've struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
They got a couple big guys, one from Liberty and one from Stetson. I'm sorry. Motion. That's just motion. Hey, lights go off.
Night, Coach.
But no, he likes it, and he's doing well. He's hanging in, and not going on road trips or anything like that. But
Yeah, it's tough.
yep. So
Good. I'm
Awesome.
good. I'm glad he's recovering from that surgery.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good.
Good. Asa, you got something?
No, you go ahead. I was talk to us about. So you played at Christian Brothers, right?
Yeah, that was about that.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. How was what were your playing days like? How was playing? Are you from Memphis?
Yeah, so I grew up in Memphis. Yeah, it's funny. I started attending Harding Academy like fourth grade,
Oh,
fifth
okay.
grade, and so yeah, man, Hubie Smith was a little bit. He was 7 or 8 years older than me, so I missed him. But so yeah, we had some good teams. We were in the private school division down there with Briarcrest and ECS, and it was good basketball. And so I played basketball and baseball there. I graduated in '89.
Okay.
So I went actually to Henderson State my freshman year in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, to play baseball. A guy named Mike Marshall was the head coach there. He was actually the Cy Young Award winner for the Dodgers back in the day, but it wasn't a great fit. It was out in the middle of nowhere, and man, I was a homebody. So CBU, I found out they had recruited me for baseball, but when I moved back to Memphis, was going to go play baseball there the second semester. They only had like 7 or 8 guys on their basketball team. Injuries, eligibility issues, or whatever. So I reached out to coach, and it was funny. They had me. They said, yeah, come on, we'll work you out and see. And so they kept me around, and yeah, I ended up playing basketball there for 4 years, and didn't even play baseball my senior year because I was grad assistant with basketball. So I was lucky. Charlie Leonard took the job my junior year at Christian Brothers. He was the high school coach at Christian Brothers High School. He took the job at CBU, did a great job. And I don't know if you guys know his name, but when Johnny Jones got the Memphis job, Johnny Jones hired him to come be his assistant at Memphis for the year or two before Calipari got that job. And so then he went with Johnny Jones to North Texas, and they were there for a few years, and then to LSU. And then he actually coached at Houston High School. One of my former teammates, Chad Becker, is the athletic director at Houston, and so he hired Coach Leonard when LSU got rid of their staff, and so he coached at Houston for a year or two, and finally retired.
Yeah.
And so I guess
Mike Miller's at Houston now, right?
Yeah. Mike Miller's coaching there. His son's there, and I think Tony Matlock's son is there. So I know they have a good team.
What made you want to coach, and when did you know you wanted to coach?
Great question. I did not know that I wanted to coach. My senior year at Christian Brothers, I was getting my degree in marketing. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm marketing business. Like,
yeah.
It just kind of like, I think I like the sports stuff. I've enjoyed it my whole life. I think I do want to coach. And so I didn't have any teaching certificate. Well, Coach Leonard said, hey, University of Memphis has a year-long teacher certification program. You've already got your marketing degree. So I went to the University of Memphis to get my teacher certification, and I was a grad assistant for basketball at CBU. And so baseball coach was kind of mad. I went ahead and graduated, didn't use my last year of baseball eligibility, and started helping Coach Leonard, and that was a great experience. He would send me on the road to scout or to recruit, and just a young guy, and so it was good, and it was great basketball. It was back when Lipscomb and Belmont and us, and Lambeth and Union. It was that old TCAT conference. It was an awesome conference. So it was really good basketball, really good coaches. Coach Bird and Coach Myers were always usually 1 and 2, every year. So it was a great learning experience for me. And probably, Asa, not till my senior year of college did I say, hey, I think I might want to coach. So it wasn't like something I thought about my whole life.
What was the biggest transition from playing to coaching for you?
One is, I had played with all those guys. So that's that's a tough, your first year or two, that's tough because those guys were your teammates, you know what I mean? And you went to battle together. But, so that part was hard. Also, we had a house right there on campus. And so, I had a room, but then like 4 or 5 of the players, were in that same little house with me. So trying to separate, you know what I mean? Trying to separate player coach, that was a little bit difficult, but I think, I think those guys respected me just because I always had to work harder than them. I was always smaller and had to fight for everything that I got. And so, you as you guys know, going from playing to coaching, man, you see things a lot differently. Like, oh man, now I get this, or I get that, or oh, this makes more sense now. And so, it's just like when you have your own son or daughter, you know what I mean? You appreciate your parents a lot more. So I think it made me appreciate my coaches a lot more once I saw it through their lens instead of through a player's lens.
Yeah. All right. So coach, every single week I do 3 keys. I started doing it. Now I give them to people that are smarter than I. You are that person this week. So the 3 keys I have for you, or that I would love to hear from you, are what are the 3 keys to working your tail off in the coaching profession?
3 keys to working your tail off in the coaching
Or
position.
what would you work your tail off? Like, what's the most important thing to do, the hardest, the most vigorous?
Well, I don't know if I'm answering this the right way. One, I would say is, man, be available to your kids, right? So if you have a Nathan Moran or Asa Duval on your team that want to get in the gym at 5 in the morning, then I'm gonna be there at 5 in the morning. If Asa or Nathan wants to come back at 8 at night, even though it's high school, now don't tell my wife this, but I'm gonna be back at 8 o'clock. So I think I think being there for the kids, you know what I mean? Like, the kids need to know, Nathan, you guys need to know, hey, I was there with you guys. I'm gonna work my rear end off. I'm gonna scout. I'm gonna clean the gym. I'm gonna be passionate. And so I think the kids seeing you working hard, whatever that is, whether that be doing stuff behind the scenes, doing the dirty work. Probably one of the biggest things I learned from Coach Smith, Nathan, had nothing to do with basketball, but it had to do with, hey, he was willing to pick up trash, clean the bathroom, clean the locker room. You know what I mean? And I think those lessons are so important. And I think it does without you knowing it, without the kids knowing it. I think it does give some good habits. It leads by example, maybe per se. Hey, no job is too small for us, and no job is too big for us. So I would say that would be one, is just being there for your kids, letting them know you care about them on and off the court, and just being willing to put the time in. So that would be a huge one. The second thing I think is, and this one's hard for me, I think I've gotten a little bit better at it, and hopefully I was better at it when I was younger than I thought, but Nathan and Asa need to know that whether they score 35 points and we win, or you go 0 for 8 from the 3-point line and we lose, Coach McKnatt or Coach Moran or Coach Duval is still going to love you tomorrow when we wake up, if the Lord lets us wake up. Either way, you know what I mean? It's a basketball game. We're going to challenge you. We're going to push you. But, hey, Nathan, there's nothing you can do out there on the court, good or bad, that's going to make me love you more or less tomorrow. And so I think when kids know that, then they're going to give you their best effort. You know what I mean? Just like a teacher in a classroom, you guys can probably think of teachers you didn't really like the class, but man, they were in the stands asking you how your basketball game went. They cared about you. You were going to give that teacher a pretty good effort, even if you didn't like their subject, compared to the teacher that didn't even know you played basketball. You know what I mean? So I would say letting the kids know, working really hard at letting them know you love them, whether we won, lost, whether you played great or you played terrible. Hey, I'm still gonna love you tomorrow. We're still gonna work you hard tomorrow, and so I think that's another thing that's really, really important. And I'm not great at that, but I've tried to get better at that. Let's see. So that's a key, man. Another key. 3 keys. So being there for the kids, letting the kids know you love them on and off the court. Oh man. What else is important?
Working your tail off. What is the third?
Working your tail off. Well,
in the coaching profession.
And coaching profession. I would say this, and same thing as teaching. Like, have a plan. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you always follow your plan, but hey, when those kids come to practice, it's just like coming to math class. I mean, we've got a plan on paper. That doesn't mean it's going to go as scripted, but we're going to be prepared. You know, John Wooden talked about spending more time preparing the practice than he did in practice. And I probably hadn't gone to that length, but I think it is important to have a plan so your kids can tell there's a rhyme and a reason for the most part to what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, especially with technology nowadays where you can film your practice and go back and watch what went well, what didn't, what do we need to spend more time with, we're wasting our time doing this. So I think technology has added a lot to that where, man, we have so many advantages as far as preparing for practice or after practice, seeing how stuff went. Yeah, so I don't know if that was 3 or not, Nathan, but
that was 3. I got be available to your kids. Performance, you basically said performance doesn't drive or define a coach's love for a player, and have a plan, just like a teacher. More time
there you go.
Preparing than an actual practice. I appreciate it. Those were really good, Coach.
I hope so. Hey, you should give me a warning. Maybe I could have given you some better ones. Y'all, hey, I got no
warnings.
Asa, I thought you were going to shoot me a cheat sheet or something.
No way.
I got like a link email to me that says your host is waiting, like at 8:45. That was my prep.
Hey, this is just straight off the top. That's what this is. Impromptu.
Hey, and Nathan, something you mentioned, and hey, and y'all kick me off whenever you're done with me, but you talked about just always learning and searching. Like I had no idea what we're going to do offensively this year, just because, you know, kind of everything we've done the last couple of years has been, hey, what's a way we can get Mason some shots? Everybody's going to focus on him, and what are we going to do against junk defenses and all that? Whereas this year, it's like, man, what am I going to do now? And so just looking and searching, and actually Aaron Morrison, Nathan, you know, Coach, you know Aaron, Asa, you know Aaron, awesome dude. Well, we came across a guy that y'all need to look him up, named Mark Cassio, Cascio. Coach Cassio, I think, is his Twitter handle. He's got something called pace and space offense, and it's a 5-out offense. It's positionless basketball, kind of like the read and react, except it's not the read and react. It's whereas in the read and react, you know, an old 5-out where you just have single gaps everywhere. You got 2 guys in the slot, 2 guys in the corners, and then you got a stretch on either side of the floor. And so you're opening up double and triple gaps. It's a lot like the dribble drive. About the first 5 games this year, did not call one play. It's just basketball. And there's some simple rules. Like we don't have basketball kids that have a lot of crap, Nathan, you've seen us playing team camp. We got a long way to go when it comes to basketball IQ, but it's positionless basketball. It's easy basketball. It's opening up double gaps. It is drive and kick, and, you know, your 1-ups and 1-downs. It incorporates the stride stop, and man, it has rejuvenated. It's just fun. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. The kids love it. And it's pure basketball. I think you 2 guys would absolutely eat it up and love it.
That's awesome.
So y'all look that up.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Coach Cassio.
Okay.
Yep. Coach Cassio, pace and space. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I appreciate it, Coach.
For real.
I appreciate it, Coach. For real.
Yeah, I haven't seen either one of you guys play, so I don't know. I think you can run it with the 4-out too if you have a big. We don't really have a big, so it works nice with what we're trying to do. Except when you go like 8 for 41 from the 3-point line, that makes for a long night. But we're getting a bunch of 3. We're getting a bunch of good looks.
A lot of work on the gun.
That's exactly, yes. More work on the gun.
There you go.
More work on the gun.
Hey, Coach, what's your you got a good Nate story for us that maybe we don't?
I was about to ask.
You got a couple great Nate stories. Let's
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nate.
We just need one.
I'll ask my question afterwards. Go ahead.
I got a couple others too, but yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you a good one. Asa. This is This is Nate's senior year. Of course, leading up to Nate's senior year, I'm sure Nate and I, you know, at team camps, Nate and I did that sometimes too. But anyway, So we are going. This is, I guess, football. Nathan was still. Our football team was still in the playoffs. I think we all knew we had a chance. We were going to be pretty good. We had a good summer. We had a good team camp.
Oh, this is the
Well, we were
CPA
going
story, isn't it?
Yeah. We were going over to
tell it.
CPA. We were going over to CPA, and of course, Nathan. What I guess they had was that Jalen Lindsay or was that Braxton Blackwell?
It was Braxton Bonds, Blackwell, Jake Osmiller, and then Ben Dreer, and
okay,
whoever else.
So they had those guys, Asa, and we were a little shorthanded. We had still a decent team without our football guys, but we didn't have near the depth that we ended up having that year. And so we were like, all right, we're going to play a triangle and 2. And so I guess we were letting Braxton Bond shoot. I think he had a couple, but he didn't shoot it great. That wasn't the best part of his game. So we were face guarding Blackwell and Jake Osmiller. And it was kind of ugly, but we were keeping it close, 6 or 8 point game. And I can't remember if it was a timeout or between quarters or whatever. Nathan came back to the bench like, Coach, let's go man. Come on, Coach, we got this. Let's go man.
This is not the story. This is not the story.
Let's go man. So we're like, all right, Nathan. All right, because Nathan knows what's best. So
this is just not the
we
story.
come out. Hey, we come out and first play, they run, old Drew Maddox back cut, no help, no triangle, and Blackwell gets the old back cut and just hammers it home. And so I was ticked off. I might have butchered the story, Nathan. I'm sure you remember better than me.
We were down around 15 or 20 because Ben Dreer had 5 threes in like the first quarter or second quarter because we didn't know Ben Dreer could shoot it like that. And then all of a sudden, Ben Dreer just came out and started just shooting the heck out of it. It ended up being a lot worse than that, though.
So I got to give you so 6 or 8 sounded better. All right, it was 15, Asa. So what's a couple dunks if you're down 15, right, Nate?
Right.
Who cares at that point?
Right.
Yeah.
We were in trouble. We were trying to play like the fast-paced game, but they were running a zone, and they were just trapping up top, and they were forcing it out of my hands. And then, it was just tough because they had so many shooters, like even with like Jake Osmiller, like we were taking Jake Osmiller and Braxton Key, and then all of a sudden Ben Dreer just goes crazy. Then we go to man, and that doesn't matter either. It's like
that's hilarious.
Well, I mean, to our no offense to Jack Gentry, but when Jack Gentry's face guarding Osmiller or Braxton Key, I mean that probably wasn't the ideal matchup. We were a little shorthanded. Nate, I'm mad that we didn't not get to play them again that year.
Yeah, I am too. I wish we had gotten to play them again. But hey, Jake, Jack Gentry before he broke his foot or whatever he did senior year, it was either shoulder or foot. Stuff. He was playing well. He was shooting the heck out of it too.
He was doing some good stuff. He was.
But Coach, I gotta ask you. So 2013, 2014, what did that year mean for you? Because you worked super hard to get in that position as a head coach. What did that winning that state championship mean for you?
Oh man, Nate. Oh God, it was so emotional. Nate, I will never forget this. At the end of the third quarter, state championship game, and we started off rough, but I think, Nathan, we were probably, you would know, but we were probably 16, 18, 20 points ahead.
Yeah, we were 18
into the
20.
fourth quarter against FRA. And I've never felt like this, but I was like, I told Coach Jones and Coach Peden and Coach Belford, I was like, guys, y'all gonna have to help me. I'm so it was just, you know what I mean? You just work so hard as you guys and players. You just work so hard, and you're like, man, is this happening? We just got to hold on. And but no, it was just sadly when I look back at it that year, it was so much fun, but sadly it was a relief, and that's a sad way to look at it. Just because I think we all felt that anything less than winning the whole thing was going to be a disappointment, and that's. Man, that's a terrible way to look at it, but that's kind of the way I felt with your group. I felt like that we had done everything that we needed to and needed to win it, should win it. And so I had put a lot of pressure, I think, just on myself and wished I would have enjoyed it maybe a little bit more. But so sadly, it was relief, but then it was also exhilarating. Just seeing you guys, I mean, as coaches now, man, just seeing your kids when your players are happy and excited, You know what I mean? There's nothing better than that. Just seeing a group of guys that have worked extremely hard to kind of reach a goal and a dream, and seeing you guys celebrate. And man, yeah, that was I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
7 years removed, are you still upset about the punt?
The punt
Was that in the locker? Was that in the locker room?
No, the punt was when Jack Gentry dribbled out the clock and then punted it and hit the ceiling.
Oh.
Asa, so they did not even. That's the way they did me. They did not even let me enjoy it. The first thing I have to do after we win is go ask Jack Gentry, why did you just punt the ball right here in front of everybody with time still left on the clock as the horn's going off? So
I didn't realize there was still time left on the clock.
It wasn't like throw it up in the air. It was a punt. Like
it was a
outer
punt
space
with great hang time. So
with great hang time.
I can laugh at it more now.
That's funny.
So yeah, I can laugh more now. I did feel the need to apologize to Coach Pierce and FRA for us punting the ball. But yeah, 7 years removed. No, the punt, it's something fun to think about and laugh about. And yeah, I still don't know what happened in the locker room. I know there was a ceiling tile or two missing.
I missed it. I missed it.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, who's more fiery, you or Coach King?
Man, I can't stand watching myself coach on film, and like I don't know, Nathan and some of those guys probably rewound clips, and some of our guys will start giggling. I'm like, what are y'all laughing at? And they're like, Coach, look at you. So I'm like, I'm not watching that. I'm watching the game. So I don't realize probably how animated sometimes I am, but like when I went to watch you guys play and see Coach King, like that guy's crazy. Like his hair was all messed up, and so I have no idea. I mean, he's probably tougher than me listening to some of his stories, and so I don't know. People probably thought we were both crazy. So I don't know. I think he's tougher than me, but we're probably both pretty fiery. I miss Coach King. I enjoyed y'all's. That was an awesome podcast with him.
Yeah. I miss him being on the sidelines. I wish he was still around.
Great coach.
Hey, Nate, I'm putting you on the spot real quick. Nate, what's the biggest thing you learned from Coach McKnatt?
Lead by example.
Lead by example.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff he talked about was stuff that I saw, and I probably saw it more than the average high school basketball player or anybody else that was a part of our team, because I was around Coach McKnatt so much, about how selfless he was to give up his mornings for that. I mean, the stuff that people don't know is Coach McKnatt sleeping in his office because he was watching film so late and didn't make it home. Mm-hmm. Like that stuff is just absolute work ethics. So I thought I had a pretty strong work ethic, but Coach McKnatt even helped me push myself even more, whether he was telling me to or not. Mm-hmm. I don't think I don't know if you ever really had to tell me to work harder, but it was kind of him just seeing it, or seeing him do it. And another thing was, I don't know if Coach McKnatt, I don't know if you remember telling me this, but it was my sophomore year. I don't know if this has to answer your question, Asa, but this is just a Coach McKnatt story. Yeah. How he's impacted me. And my sophomore year of high school, we were playing Overton. And Ivan, I forget his last name, from Overton, steals the ball from me like twice. You take me out of the game. And Coach McKnatt just starts yelling at me. But, like, I was listening to the message, surprisingly, especially my sophomore year. I mean, I'm being honest. When I was young, it's like, you hear people scream at you.
Was it Ivan?
Yeah.
It was Ivan.
Corn's brother. Or cousin.
Yeah, Ivan. Yeah.
Yeah. And Coach McKnatt goes, just yelled at me and said, like, basically told me that he believes in me. And if he didn't think that I was the best player on the court, then I wouldn't be in the game. And then put me back in the game. And that's also why I never played with people in the backcourt, Ace. I just did one move and went. I learned that after playing against him. But, like, stuff like that I took with me, because I was like, man, like, Coach really does believe in me, and I'm just a sophomore and stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite Coach McKnatt stories.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you,
I don't remember that,
Nate, Coach, do you mind if we do some rapid fire questions real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Got a few.
Old and slow though.
All right. Okay. First question. You ever been kicked out of a game?
Oh my goodness! Don't ask that. Twice.
Twice?
No, 3 times. 3 times.
When was this?
One time at Franklin High School when I was coaching girls. It's a lonely feeling. Hey, it's a lonely. Like I said, Nate, how did I not get fired? I'm sitting back in the back hallway of Franklin High School, knowing that our girls are still playing basketball. What in the world is going to happen to me tomorrow? I'm probably like 28 years old. I've gotten thrown out of the game. So that was one. And then I was smart for a long, long time. I'm at Grace Christian Academy, supposed to be the example. Great school, awesome school, great Christian school, leading by example. And I got thrown out at Santa Fe. Don't ever go be the visiting team at Santa Fe and expect to get any calls at all. So I got thrown out at Santa Fe. Strangely enough, that one was overturned when they saw how I got my second technical foul. It's the first time I've ever heard of TWSWA. So I did not have to sit out. But actually, Nate and Asa last year or 2 years ago, man, it's all running together now. I got kicked out of a game against Bell Buckle at home. That was the worst one. That was bad. So 3 times, Asa, I've been kicked out of games, and it's a lonely feeling.
That's good.
Lonely feeling.
It's pretty lonely. I bet it is. Oh man.
It's a lonely feeling.
You ever dunked a basketball on a 10-foot rim?
Are you kidding me? No. Absolutely not. One of those places where they have the trampolines, where those places they used to have.
Oh, those like jump zones or whatever they're
The
called.
jump zone, yeah. Jump zone is about it. Yes.
That's funny.
Nope. If Nathan tells you he has, he's lying.
I actually have, Coach. I actually dunked
I
yesterday.
think he's gotten it down once or twice.
Okay, I need to see it. Send me a video, Nate.
I'll send you a video.
Send me video.
It shocked me.
Foul up 3 or let it play out?
Oh man, it would depend.
I know it depends, but are you probably more than likely to foul? Probably not.
Oh man,
I still got to come up with a better way to phrase this.
Yeah,
question.
This is the way we've always looked at it because it depends on how much time's left. If there's under 5.
I mean, look, I know my answer. I'm just saying, by and large, more times than not. Are you normally going to do this?
I mean, hey, if there's not tons of time left, I'm fouling. I'm fouling. I mean, there's times where I would not foul, but if it's they're going full court and there's 4 or 5 seconds, I'm gonna let them dribble. The thing that you worry about in high school that maybe you don't have to worry about in college is you got smarter kids, you know what I mean? And you've worked on it in high school, you say that, and then you got a kid that jumps up and fouls him when he's in the air shooting a 40-footer and they get 3. So, but typically I would say foul. I've just seen too many of those shots go in.
Leave your best player.
Father Ryan, Jamonte Graham.
Jamonte Graham, that's right. Boxing 1, he still hit a 3 on us. That's right.
Gosh, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half?
Absolutely, unless you got a big lead, or again, it depends. But I'm not going to lose a game in the first half with our best player sitting on a bench because he's got 2 fouls.
True.
I mean, that doesn't do you any good. So
I love it.
If I need him in, he's going to be in.
Yeah.
We don't want the game to get out of hand.
Go for the tie or go for the win?
I don't think I have a strong preference on that. I think if the best shot is a 3, then shoot it and win, and if it's a 2, then go to overtime and win it in overtime. I don't have a preference on that per se.
Yeah. If you could not coach basketball, what would you do?
Man, that's a great question. My wife has asked me that 100 million times. Here's the only thing I can ever come up with. I'm going to get 2 young kids that work really, really hard for not much money at all, and they're going to weed eat an edge, and I'm going to sit on the zero-turn mower, and I'm going to cut grass about 6 months out of the year, and then I'm going to go home and sleep and watch basketball, and then I'm going to do it again. I don't want to weed eat an edge anymore. I just want to get on my nice mower.
I like that. Can you break 100 in golf?
Yeah, both ways. I can get higher than 100 and lower than 100 depending on the day. I haven't played in a while. Ace, I used to be a bogey golfer.
Yeah.
Back before I had kids.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I'm probably a bogey golfer.
Yeah.
So I can break 100. Yeah, I can break 100.
Okay. Should every team make the
goal 100?
Should every team make the conference tourney?
Should every team make the conference tourney? Well, I mean, I'd say no, because I know Trevecca, man, they got like 12 or 13 teams in their conference. I mean, how are you going to do that? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I would say an 8-team or, 8 or 9 team.
Yeah.
Yes, but, you get more than that, then, man, you're probably not going to do too much if you finish higher than 8th out of 12 teams.
Right. All right, last one. LeBron or Jordan?
Oh, Jordan, I'm a Michael Jordan guy. Yeah. I'm too old to be a LeBron guy. So I forced my son to watch all those with me. Michael Jordan. I think he appreciated him more after seeing that little series. That was pretty good.
But Coach, you're a team guy, and you're not a LeBron guy.
I'm a team guy, but I'm not a LeBron guy.
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, I mean, I am a team guy. What are you meaning by that?
Is Jordan a better teammate than LeBron?
Oh, I got you. I mean, he was a tough team. He was a rough teammate. I know some of the stuff he did.
You got your championships. It depends on your definition of a good teammate. I mean, if I got
exactly right. That's right. He won. They knew they could count on him. That's a great question. Man, he just. I mean, I could care less about the Bulls, but I know I watched basketball to see what Jordan was going to do, and I don't necessarily do that with LeBron. Although he's phenomenal, especially when he's shooting it well. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player to watch in the NBA, and why is it Steph Curry?
Actually, man, growing up, huge Larry Bird fan, just because I felt like he got the most out. He couldn't jump, Nate. He can't jump, couldn't run. Bad back. I mean, just
terrible back.
Talking about a guy that got the most out of his ability and used his brain as far as knowing where everybody's going to be and how to get his shot off. And man, Larry Bird through and through. I do love watching Steph Curry, just some of the shots he makes. I just like watching good basketball, though. Like, I'll still watch NBA basketball. I like watching good. It's amazing what those guys do. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how good they are. It's crazy to think about Garrison, what he's doing, and Dylan Windler and those guys those guys are so good. It's Matt Thomas. Do y'all know him? Guy that plays for the Raptors, comes in and plays a little bit.
I'm not sure.
Probably their 12 or 13 guy. He came and worked with, was it Matt Mato that's down at Baylor with Coach Price? He's on Toronto's roster, but Dylan came. Coach Mato worked with Dylan and this Matt Thomas guy who I had never heard of.
Did he go to Vandy?
No, he played at Iowa State. Okay. He was on some of Iowa State's good teams. White guy, shoots it really. It's just those guys. I mean, Nathan, Asa, you guys shot it well, but it's crazy how good they are. It's crazy. And I know at Lee, Nathan's sitting there watching really, really good players, and Asa, I know you're watching really, really good players on your own team and some of the opponents. It's just amazing how many good basketball players there are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, Asa, do you have anything else?
No, sir, I don't. I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you coming on this week. Where can the people find you on Twitter and Instagram?
That's a great question, Nate. I think I'm at GCA Grit and Grind. I believe that is right. On one of them, Instagram, maybe just old boring Len _McKnatt, I think. But GCA Lion Sports, they can find my stuff there as well. Or they can just text you, Nathan. You can just put them in touch with me. I'm still those guys. I'll answer my text and emails and all that good stuff. So, man, awesome seeing you guys doing what you're doing. Y'all look like y'all are having fun. And y'all have had some great guests, and I know y'all are pouring into kids. So that's awesome. So, married life going good, Nate?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
That's good.
Ace is close.
Good.
Close to what?
That? What'd you say?
Ace is close.
Oh, really?
To what?
Well, I didn't want to ask. So
close to what?
You getting married, Asa?
I am. There's nothing in the works right now. There's nothing in the works. I couldn't afford a ring if I wanted to right now.
I understand. I know that's I had to buy my wife one this Christmas because finally had saved up some money to apologize for all those years she had to wear. I mean, we took an anniversary trip to Gatlinburg, and Nathan, these people are going off all over the world, you know, vacation, and I had to take my poor wife to Gatlinburg, you know, 3 hours up the road. We didn't have any money.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Guys, thank y'all for having me. Y'all are awesome. Best of luck to y'all in your tournaments. And if I can ever help, let me know, and appreciate what you guys do.
Yes, sir. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys can find Asa Duvall at the Ace of Spades on Twitter. You can find me, not on Twitter. He's not there, but on Instagram, you can find him at the Ace of Spades with a Z on the end. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nate5_Moran. Guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in this week and look forward to seeing you guys next week.